So today I have Yuka Sanui from the Toronto Blue Jays. She's a nutritionist, dietitian, yeah, for the renowned team. Unfortunately, they lost the finals, but we'd like to hear a little bit about the behind the scene type of episodes from the World Series. First of all, did you meet with Ohtani-san?
I did not meet in person, but obviously we were in the same field, and so I've seen him many times. I don't want to interfere with any sort of game situation, so I just let them be. So yeah.
Well, but what about other Japanese?
Other Japanese players, I've talked to Sasaki-san and his trainers. That's really about it. I don't really have a lot of interactions with the other Japanese players. Unfortunately, our staff, we have Gosuke Kato. He used to be a major leaguer, former baseball player, and so we have him there. I don't really have a lot of interaction with Japanese people. Unfortunately, I just stay on my side, stay on my lane as a dietitian.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't know you had the Japanese staff.
Yeah, we have one staff, one Japanese staff.
So obviously you do not prepare any Japanese meals for Blue Jays.
Well, no, they'll be obvious because you'll be surprised to see how many people who are actually, they love Japanese food, They love Japanese food, they love sushi. So one day we did like a sushi day where we brought in a sushi chef in Toronto into the clubhouse, and then they kind of made fresh sushi right there for them, and then they all told me it was like the best sushi they've ever had. It was, it's Toronto, so there's a lot of fresh fish in there, and so a lot of guys really liked it. I had a lot of uni, sea urchin, and toro.
Oh,
delicious.
Typically, I think Japanese teams don't allow anything raw during games.
Before the game, pre-game, I don't usually put out anything that's raw, per se, but for post-game, it's kind of like take out your own risk. Like it should be, a lot of the times it's like very fresh, and they follow all the food safety rules, and so it's usually typically fine, but there's still some players who they're not very into sushi or raw fish, and so we also have other options as well.
Okay. What typically do you prepare for the game?
So we usually have 2 or 3 protein options, 2 starches, so carbohydrates, that's like rice, pasta, potatoes, and some sort of veg. So that's like our typical meal. Whether that's like Asian food, American food, Italian, stuff like that, depends on the day. I try to have a variety of meals, as well as we also typically have Latin meals as well, just because we have a lot of Latin players, and usually we want to accommodate all the cuisine that they prefer. So we usually at least have one Latin protein source and Latin like rice and beans. Things like that.
What's the most unusual meal you prepare?
Most unusual meal?
African dish or Cuban dish?
I try to go with like more something that like players are comfortable and nothing crazy. But I guess like for Japanese people, I don't think the Japanese are used to eating like Latin meals.
Right.
So we've done a lot of oxtail, a lot of like, what's it called, empanadas, rice and beans.
Right.
Rice and beans, lots of ricey beans, stewed chicken, and like all the stuff that I typically never really see in Japan. I think that's, for me, at one point, in plantains. Plantains are also something they eat very often. I don't know, people aren't very used to eating carrot. We love some quesadillas. We love some acai bowls. We love some, there's no like unusual meals, but it's kind of like we try to go for variety, but like something that people are familiar with, just because for players, it's more like for fueling and recovery, and it's not really like explore different dishes. So we try to focus on that.
For baseball players, how much protein do you use?
So we usually give them, because they're about like 200 pounds-ish, of average of 200 pounds. So per day, they need around 180 to 200 grams of protein. So, and then if some people miss one meal, they need to compensate in other parts of their needs. So we try to have at least 8 ounces per person per meal, which is about 240 grams of protein. So it's about like a whole chicken breast, I want to say. So that's usually it's all in a buffet style. So it's a buffet style. Yeah. So they can take whatever they want. They can take more. They can take less if they want. But we try to have at least 8 ounces per person, so that they can make sure they can eat enough protein.
Do you think that athletes are knowledgeable about the nutrition? What they need to consume, what they should not be consumed?
For sure. So I had been in baseball for 4 years. In the last 3 years, I was in the minor league. And as I was going into minor league, into major league, I can see the level of education and level of knowledge that the players have. Obviously, in the minor league, it's, they just got there. Some people may come from high school. Some people may come from college that had a dietitian, so they have a different nutrition knowledge. A lot of the times, the young players don't really have a lot of education or knowledge. And even if they do have the knowledge, they don't really apply that to their daily life. But then, like, to go to the major league, everyone is mostly aware of their nutrition knowledge. They know the nutrition, and they know how to apply that. A lot of the times, they know what's good, they know what's bad, they know what's not gonna be good for recovery versus what's good for recovery, and so they are able to apply that. So seeing that difference made me realize that, wow, like these guys, they've been in the league for a while, a lot of the times, and then
So do they use supplements?
Yes. We have variety of supplements, but we have the powder, the capsules. Obviously, we have a lot of protein supplements, plant-based and whey-based. We also have a recovery supplement that higher calories for those who struggle with weight. We also have like creatine. We also have collagen, multivitamin omega, probiotics, vitamin D, aminos. You name it, we have it.
Team buys for them, or
I buy them.
Oh, you buy them?
I buy them.
Oh.
Yep.
So you get to decide which one you end up buying.
Yeah, I get to decide which brand. I get to decide what company to use, which product to use, which one I shouldn't buy or should buy, and that's all my job.
Good. And they're anti-doping tested?
So obviously, all the supplements be NSF
certified, yeah. Okay.
So all the supplements that we order are NSF, and we have to make sure that the players aren't taking any other supplements, and so we have to make sure we are covering all the supplements.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. But I don't think that's the case in Japan.
Right.
It's more loosely, not controlled.
Right.
What is the understanding by the coaches about the nutrition intervention or nutrition strategy? Are they very supportive, or are they?
For sure. So I feel like they have been very supportive of what I do. The players are struggling with the weight, or whether they're struggling with like energy, sleep, and all that. They really come to me for it, and so and they know that I'm not just a lead person. I'm not just controlling or like, controlling their weight. I'm here to help them fuel. I'm here to help them hydrate, recover, and monitor their weight.
Wow.
So a lot of times it is it is a trust. It has to be a trust. There has to be a trust in our relationship, and I think just communicating with them and making sure that like.
That's good. I mean, that's not the case in Japan.
Right.
Only few teams actually hire dietitian, and many coaches they don't understand the importance of nutrition for athletes.
Right.
Many sports dietitians in Japan, they come from a culinary background, not from the biochemistry, not from the physiology. So it's very tough for them to understand this side. They need to earn money. So that's good. That's good. Yeah. So I mean, has a very good environment in terms of supporting athletes for the nutrition center. And now there's a lot more science done in the USA, Canada, Japan. Unfortunately, we don't have any clinical settings that we could do a lot of stuff. So we rely on. I'm involved with the International Society for Sports Nutrition, CISSN. I'm trying to promote this program.
It's very, very much needed.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of times, a lot of dietitians still know how to read research papers and research articles. They don't know what's reliable, what's not reliable, what is correlated versus what's not. Yeah, correlation does not mean causation, all that stuff. I don't think they understand that. I had a course on it when I was in school.
Oh, you did?
I had a course on how to read research papers, how to statistics, all that stuff. And so that's how I know. I feel like Japan lacks that. And I think they need to understand on how to read them, how to read articles properly, how to analyze them properly. So I think these are all like good things that's happening.
Yeah. Well, before they could read, there's a language area.
That's true. That is very
Many
true.
of them
Yes.
do not read English.
That's right.
That's why I had to translate. It took me 1 year to translate. Do you have any message to the world? Because this will go global.
From like dietitian standpoint, keep working, and if you want to work in sports, first of all, you can't just know how to cook. You have to learn how to you have to have the nutrition knowledge. You're not, as a dietitian, you are an expert in nutrition and food. You're not a cook. So that's like one big thing. And then the second thing is just get to know your people who's involved in sports. I think that's how you can step into the right door if you want to go into sports nutrition, sports dietetics. Because even if you know the knowledge, as you can't really just tell them the knowledge. You're kind of like a teacher. Like if they like you, they're gonna listen to you. If they don't like you, they're not gonna listen to you. It's so kind of like building. Yes, exactly. So you have to build a lot of relationship with players and athletes and other people. So get to know your sports. Your staff, your people. And that's like a big thing when it comes to getting into sports.